All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome into this informational event about meeting me at an in-person experience. I absolutely love in-person experiences. I do a few every year now, 4 to 6 a year is kind of like what I've been on the path for. And I absolutely love the opportunity to meet you in real life. There's something that happens in the experience where you can like go beyond pen and paper, beyond a Zoom or a FaceTime, and actually, be in a room together and apply the tools in a whole other level. And the point of an in-person experience to me is to help you emotionally connect to the path that's truly meant for you. So whether that is greater happiness, that is finding your purpose, that is discovering, a greater level of abundance, or whatever it is that you're seeking, more love, more of whatever it is that you want to create more of in your life, it's to accelerate that process. What I've done, just so you know what to expect if you do want to come to an in-person experience sooner or later in your life, whether it's on your vision board or whether it's something that you want to make happen quickly, I first want to just walk you through a little bit about what to expect and then have it open up to the people here who have been to the experience. They're going to share a little bit of, anything that they're willing to share in a few, seconds to minutes, and then also a live Q&A from you all. My goal of these in-person experiences initially has been to keep them very small and intimate. So whether it's like 6 or 7 people, or if it's me and my sister Kat, it's been up to like 12 to 13, 14 people, like really small, really intimate, small group. And when you come for the experience, it's not just the experience. The intent behind it not only is to emotionally connect you to the path that's meant for you, it's the expansion to me that happens after it. That's so powerful. As your mindset coach, what happens in a few days is just the beginning of the rest of everything. So to me, it's all about, not just being like, oh my goodness, like putting all the like emphasis on the actual meeting in person, doing the release of all your old baggage, all the stuff that you're ready to remove the barriers from that has been tethering you from to the past you, but also to help you create what's next. So all of the first lessons are really geared towards the release. I have a series of in-person, like how do you release that? How do you release the baggage that is holding you to past versions of you on a whole other deep level in person? And then, clean the slate and really step into what's possible. The entire experience is actually very creative. So even the release days are not just like sitting there and, getting upset over all the things that are negative in your life. They're actually a very creative release in letting them go and then stepping into what's possible. So the lessons on the create day feel extraordinary because you're not just coming for a create day. That create day is about, again, stamping everything in your life to that's what's to come. It's about setting a massive trajectory for momentum that I get to see now, that especially now that we've been doing this experience like to this level for over a year now, that I get to see the changes, the text message, the group camaraderie, like what's happening even like a year plus later, the impacts that it has and all of that. So just know, I have two intentions for going into 2025, which is to have some of these small, intimate experiences like I have been having. And I do really want to also have a bigger experience. I don't know exactly when, it might be as soon as January, that I want to put a bigger experience on the calendar where I would be hosting a much larger event for us. And that would be not the, intimate, like small group like in the house, all of that. It is more of a bigger event to all come together, kind of like a summit. And so, what you're paying for when you come to the more exclusive, smaller event is just that, more custom work with me level that's happening on a more intimate experience with a smaller group of people. Plus, the 5 weeks of coaching that you do after Malibu with me, because it's not just what happens in Malibu, or if I offer these, I've had events in Switzerland and Florida and different places as well, but it's not Montana. It's not just what happens again there. It's, to me, the support that happens after that you've expanded to this next version of you. That's extraordinary. So I would like to just kind of, there's many of you here that are like, I'm on the fence. I kind of want to do an in-person experience. I don't know if, it's in my budget. I don't know if it's in my vision right now. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. So I wanted to open it up to like questions, and then also having you like hear it first from people who have been there, people who have, been on the fence, not sure whether they should come, made the decision, and so any of their key takeaways of, what made you decide to come. Now I'm talking to the people who have come. What made you decide to come to the Malibu experience? And let's just start there. So I'm just gonna, call on some people, and then share a little bit about the transformation or something that has been profound for you that you've stepped away from or stepped into since coming. And then after we hear from some of the Malibu people, I'm going to open it up to all the new people here who are just literally here tuning in to listen in on, just whatever questions you might have about the experience. But right now, it's the intimate experience is a 2-day, very deep dive, and then the coaching that happens afterwards. So I'm going to open it up. Joylene, you just got off the call I just had wrapping up the last 5 weeks. We just came to September's coaching right now at this point of this recording. It's October. And what would you share since I
Well,
just
first of all, welcome. I can't wait to meet the alumni that have been to Laura's experiences, and welcome everyone that's here that's exploring, because something in your heart is tugging you and pulling you here. And that is no coincidence at all. I'm very blessed to have known Laura before I consider myself an OG. So probably over 6 or 7, 8 years. And she had a huge impact in my life, teaching me how to flip things and navigate a really tough season. What I want to share is I am so glad I made the decision at the last minute to come to the September one. It was the best choice I made, because where I was coming from out of a 10-year really tough season and where I'm now going is miraculous. But what I needed and what I gifted, I think, well, I know, was giving myself that opportunity to be in that small, intimate group. All of you have probably tuned into Zooms or gone to big events, and I look forward to the summit. But there's something very intimate, and it allows you to access what you need next to go to the next level. And Laura creates, and her team, an incredible experience for you to have that space to do it. I was blown away by release day. I was blown away by the next day. And what's happened now since I've come home, I am sitting in my home that I have dreamt of and wanted. It happened since coming back. But what I want to say is that we all do personal development. We're all seeking things. And I said to Laura that it's like a combination lock. And you can have all the digits, right? You can line them up. You've done the personal development. You're doing your whatever it is you need to do to move yourself forward. But that lock will not open if you're missing one digit. If one digit is off, you can just be completely frustrated. And that's what the Malibu experience can do for you, is that Laura is that last digit. So when you come there, she helps you dial in and helps you work through things. And you're in that beautiful, small, intimate group. I love my group. Like, I love that we are all post Malibu. We're holding space for each other's dreams and goals, and we get to work together. And I get to learn from when they're struggling. Laura coaches and guides you, continually build upon the experience. But I am so grateful I went. Like, it was incredible. So just Laura's that that number you need to unlock the lock so you can get to where you want to go next. And then it's not just 2 days and you're done, one and done, or two and done, right? You get to stay here and you will see peace come into your heart. You will have trust with your intuition. And then you will start to manifest the things that you're like, it felt so far away. It comes faster. It really, really does. So I hope you guys take
So
advantage
much.
of it. You're welcome.
Josephine, it's so great to see you in your new house. I was like, wait, what?
I know. I wish you guys
Those
could
are the
see
things
it.
that happen so fast sometimes. So congratulations. I just
Fast,
love it.
fast.
Fast,
Thank
faster.
you.
And that's always my goal. It's like, can you remove the resistance? Can you get there faster? Can I help
Mhm.
you shine the light on that path?
Yeah.
Kendall, I know you might have to jump, so I'm gonna add you in. Come on in.
Hi guys,
Okay.
I'm Kendall. I'm really excited to be here today and speak towards how amazing the Malibu experience was for me and also my sister and my mom who are on this call. We all did it together, which was a really unique and cool experience. I think one of the things that left like such a lasting impression on me was how it really wasn't just like the 2 days. Obviously, the 2 days are full of so many amazing things and they feel very fulfilling and truly like I felt like I had like a spiritual like mindset life shift within those 2 days. But when you like leave, it's like you have to continue to put it into practice. And obviously you're leaving if it's in Malibu or wherever it is, you're leaving a beautiful place where you're surrounded by people who are supporting you. Like Joylene said, the group, the bond that you form is really amazing. And then when you go home, you're not left to your own devices because Laura continues it. We did how many sessions? 5 or 6 sessions
Mhm.
afterwards.
Yeah.
And I actually feel like I felt the most growth within those sessions because I had the mindset shift while we were together and then like was able to really put it into practice in the real world, if you will. And so, yeah, I think just like going into it, I did just think, oh, it was going to be 2 amazing days and then we would leave and, hopefully I'd be able to continue what I learned, but it wasn't like we were kind of left alone. And I felt like we really held each other's hands like afterwards. And for me, I think that was really special about the experience.
I love that, Kendall. And you've been in my coaching for some time, so like it really deepened you, right? Like how long have you been part of the private group
I
experience?
was going to look it up. I think I've been now 2 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
amazing.
So I mean, honestly, it changed my life. So I mean, you in general, but the experience for sure shifted me in a way that I think it would have taken me a lot longer to reach had I not gone.
Jumped in.
So thank you.
I love it. Thank you. I'm gonna jump through your family a little bit since we're here. And you mentioned them, this beautiful family that got to come together. I love it, Jolie. And you're all different places in the country, which was so fun to like bring you together.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jolie. I'm Kendall's sister, as we just said. And I found out about Laura through a mutual friend and had heard really great things about her for a while. And I actually recommended Kendall to her when she was just kind of in a period of stuck. And I thought that everything I had heard about Laura would be so great for her. And Kendall was working with her and just like really having this breakthrough. And I was hearing all these amazing things. And Kendall decided to join Malibu. So then we started talking about doing not just Kendall, but my mom and myself coming. And I was on the fence, not because I hadn't heard anything. I had only heard anything but amazing things about Laura and her results. But I'm across the country, would have to take off work, fly across the country. And I felt like I had been doing um my own work in other areas that felt good. And I felt like I was in a good place. But I decided to, make the jump and do it. And I feel like I really discovered, I think what Joylene said about Laura being the missing piece really just clicked for me because, like I said, I was doing all these things and I felt like I was in a good place and they were all great practices and I was in a good place. But I think she just really took me to that next level. And I think that that's what's great about Laura. She really meets you where you're at, whether this is kind of just like the start of your journey or you feel like you've dove into some of those things. She meets you where you are with that. And in the first release day, I feel like it made me realize like there was more to release than I maybe was thinking about myself. So it just made me dig extra deep. So I think that she was just like Joylene said, kind of the missing tool in my toolbox and really just propelled me to that next level. And I was also really grateful for this. I mean, it was really a special experience to do with my mom and my sister, who means so much to me. But the other women that I met were so amazing. And I think, being in a room and getting to know people in such an intimate setting that you would never probably meet or come across, it's really special. And also, I think seeing that we were all on different stages, different chapters, but everything we shared so much in common, whether it would be what we're struggling with, our goals. So I think it's nice to see people of different backgrounds and all over, and kind of see like this, you have the same goals and struggles and can put them together even though they're different but the same. So I thought that that was really special, and to be able to kind of cheer each other on post Malibu and keep in touch and hear how things are going, and be that support for them.
And you like had some wins right after Malibu
Yeah,
too.
totally. And like I said, I felt like I was in a good place, and I was, but it really just took me to these bigger wins, and it kind of leveled me up immediately.
Yeah, I love seeing the shifts right after. Thank you. And like all ages, all backgrounds. Some of my events are co-ed now too, which is
I
amazing.
love
So
co-ed.
it's been fun. I really, don't want to exclude anyone. And when you're ready, like when your heart's pulling. So thank you. Thank you. Well, let's continue on the fam. She's in my phone as mom because she's mom. She's mom to these girls and they shared her contact with me. So now it's like, come on in, mom. Come on in, Lisa.
Hi,
It's
I'm
like,
Lisa, and the only thing that was missing was my husband, and he was so sad. He's like, "Oh," but like Laura said, he's actually doing the work now,
yes.
and
In private group coaching.
but we were really fortunate. We were so fortunate that we got to do it together, and it was also Mother's Day weekend, so that was extra special. But everyone here, knows how amazing Laura is just from working with her. But when you're actually invited and you step into her home, you get to hug her, which is like so incredible because she really is just she makes you feel so welcome and she's so warm. And, what we're doing can be a little bit uncomfortable. You're really putting yourself out there and you're getting rid of some things that you're holding on to. But Laura, and the setting itself is, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can now.
Yeah. Okay. The setting is so intimate and perfect. Um, like the girls mentioned, you're with a small group, which is so wonderful because everyone's going through different things and you're all helping each other, as you're working things out and learning so many new things about yourself, which is really what I took from this experience. Um, I, knew about Laura from Kendall, and I actually was like, kind of like Jolie, like, oh, I'm good. I've done a lot of reading. I do a lot of self-development. But I was like, okay, I'm gonna go. And honestly, it was really for me like eye-opening that I really, was able to take things for me to another level. One of the things at my stage is I'm ready to embark on a new career journey. And Laura, like basically was like, trust the process and, you can't force it. And I was like, I didn't get that. It should come so naturally. I know what I'm good at. I um know what I think I want to do. But honestly, I feel like, just I'm like, okay, I'm going to trust her and listen to this. And sessions was so incredibly helpful. And for me, it didn't happen right away, but I knew that the work and she always, it was so true that like now is what I'm experiencing. And we were there in May, so it's not that many months later, but um it was like an eye-opening experience, and each day it's so immersive. so full, but not like overwhelming at all. It's fun, it's relaxing. Laura and her team make the experience just incredibly beautiful. Um, had a huge impact on me. And I think there is nothing, you can't really compare anything, that you're doing on Zoom to the experience live. But I will say that not every live experience you go to is as good as you would hope for. This is it was beyond my expectations. And, you know, Laura goes above and beyond, like I said, to make this an experience that is comfortable, enjoyable, fun, and something we still talk about. We talk about it all the time in our family. So
Oh, I love that. As
thank
you're
you.
sending me pictures of Northern Lights, I was like, oh, I'm there. I love it. Thank you, Lisa. And it's so good to see, like, between you, your daughter, like different ages, different backgrounds, like people coming there because they're working on love and relationships. Some people are there working on like money and career paths. Some people are there because they're completely like reinventing their next chapter in their life. So it's really, really cool. Kim R, I feel like you're ready. And then maybe Tori. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, Kim. Hi. Kim came to Montana and met
Yeah,
me, brought my experience on the road. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Yeah, so I just wanted to give a short, yeah, you could say testimonial. I could say so many amazing things about the experience that I had. The way I felt before was completely different than the way I felt afterwards. And that was because I was dealing with negative emotions, partly due to a guy, um, but also just in general in life. There were so many things that I want to do. And so I was feeling overwhelmed. But afterwards, that feeling sort of dissipated in the sense that I felt prepared. I felt as if I had the tools to deal with any sort of negativity to come, and also the challenges, to trust that it will be okay, to have the courage to trust that it will be okay.
Mm,
And as all these other ladies mentioned, one of the biggest things for me was meeting everyone else on the trip and meeting their struggles, well, getting to know their struggles. And it just made you feel less alone in your journey of, development. And I really value that, as well as we also keep in contact to this day. It's only been, has it been 2 months already? 3 months?
yeah, you came to
Um,
July. Yep.
yeah. So like 3 months. But we're still pretty much in contact. But I would say, yeah, there's really nothing quite like this experience. And I know it is quite a lot of money to spend on, but I would do it just because I can't even express in words how much it changes the way you approach your life. But yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to say.
Thank you, Kim. And I
Mhm.
appreciate it. You guys, I don't take any investment lightly that you put into yourself, at any level, but like it is a commitment that you're making to yourself. And I always want the results of that commitment to be exponential, right? So when people do my free tools, I'm like, okay, this is an exponential value. When you do my, memberships or courses, like I want it to be exponential. So just imagine if you're getting a lot out of something that's like 150 a month, and then you're feeling an exponential value. Then this next level, if you were to like 10x value wise or 100x value wise, like that's always the goal of my coaching. So it's like, because if I could do that, a price tag's a price tag, but the value is like not expressible in words. It's just not. Like, how do you put a price tag on changing people's lives? You can't. It's just stuff that's not tangible. But there's something about it that I just want you to feel. And I'm so glad you all are speaking to a lot of key elements that I think make it very special, which is like there's something that you walk into that you release and you leave different. And then how do you sustain that different? And can you sustain being different? And there's all these different programs and tools and events and things that's often like we go or do or read about or whatever. And then you go back into your life and you're in the same old patterns. And so in this experience, the goal is, can you invest this time into yourself to get an extraordinary return? So like, I want you to be like 80 years old, 90 years old, 100 years old, being like, and that is when my life really took a pivot to the positive. And if that's already happening on any level of this coaching experience, that's, you leading into your heart, then I'm always just like, imagine that on steroids to the next level. And that's what I want this in-person experience to be at whatever level, whether you come to a future summit, that's not the intimate experience, but you're getting an in-person experience on another level. Exponential. I really want you to think exponential in value, which is where your heart is. Our brain always wants to make it logical. All right, speaking of logic versus letting go, Miss Tori, I love seeing your path because you've let go of so much.
Yeah, a lot of letting go. Including right now, there's a huge letting go moment right now, but I also was on the fence before signing up. I had gone back and forth with Laura. I had just been with Laura for about a month, I won her scholarship and I got to do the 6-month program, which was really cool. And then I was being led toward Malibu and I was talking to Laura about it, and we both saw me there and it just wasn't working out. And then at the last minute, everything came together and I kind of had a big life change moment, life shift. And it had been building up for a while. And then that was like the straw that broke the camel's back. And I was like, that's it. I'm going to Malibu. And I'm so infinitely happy that I did, because I had been working on similar ideas and tools for years, but going to Malibu, like, just put everything into overdrive, like in the best way possible. And it accelerated my mindset growth and my manifesting growth. And I think doing the 6-week program, before, and then going there, the thing that's different, so it's similar tools, but when you're doing it in person and you're in this space with other people who have committed their time and committed their energy, and you're in the moment, it really forces you to be honest with yourself, because you'll kind of go through the motions and do the tools, but when you're in Malibu and you're in the moment, the level of peeling back the layers and peeling back the blocks and really getting to what is at the core of, you'll have 3 steps forward, 1 step back, or 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. And that will be the process with this. And then you go to Malibu and it's like, it's not that you never have steps back, but you overcome them so much more quickly, because you understand the process of, how do I get to the core of what's blocking me and what's holding me back? And that for me was life changing. And I didn't realize until I got back from Malibu, even though I could feel it, like something was off, like things were going well, but there was still something off and wrong. And when I got back, I had struggled with anxiety, for basically my whole life. And when I got back from Malibu, I realized, I was like, I actually am not feeling the anxiety like how I used to feel the anxiety. And the times when it would pop up, it's very easy to control. And since I got back from Malibu, things have been manifesting at an incredible rate. I also got to move to my dream place. Things with my personal life, we did the exercise in Malibu, which I know we do in the program, where you visualize, your perfect day. And it starts with waking up and drinking your tea or your coffee and visualizing the life that you want. And for me, the life that I wanted in terms of where I lived, my personal life, my health, my fitness, my sport, and also my career. I was in Malibu, I want to say, I think it was like 11 months ago. Less than a year later, that perfect vision of my life, like, everything just keeps coming true. Like, it just keeps like the dominoes just keep falling over, and it all is coming to fruition. And so for me, that's always my favorite visualization and favorite, like, not trick, but just handy thing that I do. I'm like, okay, like, let me have a moment. Let me like visualize where I am drinking my tea every single morning. And yeah, and it's been life changing. And everyone in my life has seen a huge difference in me from before. It's like BM and AM, like before Malibu and after Malibu. Like I feel like a different person. I present as a different person, so much happier, better control on my emotional health, my mental health. And I just feel like everything's coming together. And even in the moments where I'm like questioning things, I'm like, look at everything that's come together in less than a year. It's all working out, and I'm exactly where I'm meant to be right in this moment. So thank you so much for the experience, Laura.
Oh, you're welcome. And thank you for sharing. You all are like such great examples. And you see, for those of you who are listening, just please put in the chat like what your takeaways are so far, you know, and where you still have questions, because it's like I love like seeing your dreams come true. Like I have to cast such a large umbrella of like my dream is also seeing your dreams come to fruition, like not just keeping it a dream. Like, how do you make a dream a vision and step into it right now, starting today? So it doesn't just like stay in a vision board, or it doesn't. So helping you accelerate you stepping into that life, sipping that tea or coffee, having that relationship, shifting your job, shifting your house, or whatever else that needed shifting. Like, it's so awesome to see what happens. And that's what I mean. Like, this is now like 11, 12 months later for you, Tori. It's like, it's cool to see. You're like, oh, and now this month, like this is happening. And now look at my view now. And now look at this now. And it's like, yeah, that started with an idea because of what you didn't want, you know, and what you were clear on, and all the things you did want. So it's really neat. It's really neat to know that it's an unfolding. You know, you don't have to come to the experience and then boom, everything has to about face. Sometimes that's scary for people to think like was all. No, just trust in the unfolding. What you're ready for is already ready for you. And if you're really ready to step in out of what you don't want and into what you do want, I can definitely teach you the tools that you unlock that last latch. You know, like what you're saying is me, I can reflect back exactly what you need because I can feel exactly what you need, but it's reflective. So when people are like, it's me, I'm like, it's you. Like I'm able to like people, you think it's me, but it's actually you. I'm just reflecting exactly what you need. And when you recognize that's actually you and not me, boom, 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 your life changes because I'm giving you the words and I'm giving you the how-tos and I'm giving you the tools. And it's really life-changing because I'm able to tap into that and help you. And it's really just a guidance on my side. It's me guiding you to recognize your fullest potential, your purpose, your creative expression of who you are. And I love holding that space for you all. Okay, so Lorianne, I feel like you should be next. Speaking of intuitive, she literally was on Facebook with me, was like, she runs retreats and she was like, I think I need to come to one of these. You know, and just, you know, I'd love to hear.
So I own a business called Recharge the Soul Retreats, and I love what I do. And we've been in this crazy energy with all the uncertainty in the world of expanding what we do and having other people come work for us. And so I love Laura's whole idea of breaking things down and gaining clarity and trusting that things are working out for you. And when you're running a business, I don't know if there's probably other women entrepreneurs on here or men entrepreneurs on here. And what happens is you get caught up in the day-to-day business and all the nuts and bolts, and then you forget about your vision. And so it really is amazing when you get clear and you trust the process, which is what I do. But when you're in the middle of it, it's like I couldn't see all the answers that were right in front of me. And so I was in between retreats and I got this message. I think it was through email, but again, I believe there are no accidents. And so I got an email and it said that it was exactly at the time that I had space in my life to go and attend. And I'm all about investing, teaching my clients to invest in themselves. It's so important to invest in yourself. It sends a message to you that you're worthy and that you're worth it. And so I thought about that for a minute. I go, I'm coaching all of this information to all of my clients. why am I not investing in myself? Like, I deserve this. I deserve Laura St. John in the Malibu. And so I ended up, talking to her. And of course, everybody on here, if you don't know and you're new, she's incredible. She's amazing. She's a catalyst for unlimited thinking and for massive growth. I can't even tell you all the things that have happened to my business since I have had the courage really to step through and step across that and go and see her in Malibu and meeting other incredible women, which is also part of Laura's magic, is she's a magnet for people who really want goodness in this life and who really want to grow and be their best, and also let go and release limited thinking that keeps you stuck. So the biggest thing for me that happened was gaining clarity, really being able to decide where to put my energy and my focus, because your energy is everything. Energy matters, your mindset matters. And so that it's been creative, it's been expansive. I've been able to really design my life on how I want it to be and let go of things that are no longer working for me. And I don't know if I could have done that without, it probably would have taken me a lot longer if I hadn't connected with Laura, and it was a catalyst for me just to really go. So I'm grateful to you, Laura. I'm so excited that I get to share all the things that you've done for me. You're an amazing person, and I'm grateful for you.
Oh, thank you. I love the work you do, and I love the thought that like my work with you has helped you make an even greater impact on
100%.
the people that you're meant to be reaching yourself. So that's level extraordinary, right? How can this work help impact humanity in whatever you do? Whether you're an artist, you're a cook, you're a lawyer, you're a writer, you're a retreat person yourself, like that's so empowering. Right? How can this work help define and refine your purpose so you step into your creative potential more and create the life that you adore doing what you're meant to be doing, surrounded by the people you love, and just that's extraordinary. So to me, that is ultimate success, right? Then everything else comes from that. Oh, that's amazing.
So true. So true.
Speaking of Angelica, I feel like if you can chat, you just popped in. I just saw you and I'm like,
Okay.
oh, speaking of, I mean, wow.
Hey, everyone. It's so good to see everyone here, especially the people who are on the retreat with me. I believe I was on the second retreat, and I just felt like I needed to be on the front end of things. And it just was such a life changer for me. And I've made friends that at deep levels that I have never, ever made before, because these people who were on the retreat, they know where I am. It's like leveling up to the top levels. When you leave these retreats, like everyone has said, you become a changed person. And so, in addition to what you're learning there, the people that you're there with, they're co-manifestors. I call them eagles. They're at the top levels. They already know, what kinds of things you will experience. But yeah, when I went to the second retreat, I was like in a shift at that time, and I was working at an art gallery. And right at the time of the retreat, I was able to secure Sharon Stone as an artist. And the day of the retreat, I couldn't stay for the futures dinner because I was about to have dinner with Sharon Stone and her people. So I went from all of the ceremonies and the deep dives. It got in the car and headed to Beverly Hills to have that meeting. So it was just like the send off. There were the energy. I wasn't the same person I was when I got there, and then it's changed. So if you have any doubts at all, and I came from homelessness, I was homeless just a few years ago, and then now I'm meeting people. I'm in the art field and I'm a consultant. I work in the entertainment industry and fragrance industry. But I went from being a person who was trying to impress to transformed to a person who understands the impact that she can have on the world. So, from a person who wants and is striving and moving from lack to learning how to be a person who understands their self-value and how to impact the world. So, I mean, the retreats were amazing. As a matter of fact, I'll share something I've only shared at the retreat. So during the right before the sound bath, we had a sound bath, and that was amazing. I shared my story that my husband and I, when we were homeless, we were living right down the road on the street from where the retreat was. We were living in our car. And I mean, like right down the hill, no more than a mile or so away. And to go from that scenario and to move through Laura's teachings, all of her teaching, but the retreat, when you get to the retreat, you just completely, you become someone who you start to understand the value of being your timeless self. Okay. Your past informs you, don't judge it. And your future is coming in front of you. And the present you absorb every moment of life. And I'm just saying, it's the best thing I ever did in my life. Every moment is a jewel. Every day, something special happens because you have a better, deeper understanding of life and where you're going with it. And so that's what the retreats have done for me. Laura's teachings, obviously, they're amazing. The retreat, Malibu experience, and it's an experience. You're transformed as a person, and you just become the best you can ever be. And it continues to grow. You don't stay stuck anymore. You grow through all the ups and downs of life. So but the friendships are the best. So anyway,
Those are
yes.
the best. They're so fun. It's really fun, getting to know you all on another level. I will never forget the moment you shared that. And I'm so glad you just, shared that publicly, that like you can't make this stuff up. You know if you're meant to be there. When you were like, I was homeless and I lived at the bottom of your street. And here I am at the Malibu experience. You just can't make that up. Could you imagine those days that you were living out of your car, that you would be up there on the hill one day, like getting this retreat experience, becoming who you were meant to become? You just can't make that up. And you guys, like Angelica met me through Netflix. She saw me on Selling Sunset. And then ironically reached out to me months later. She joined the private group coaching, but had reached out to me months later that she was in Las Vegas moving to LA. And I connected her to Vanessa, who I was on the show with, to be her realtor and, help her find a place and other things. Like there's just so many different pieces and parts to the story that go full circle. Because had I not helped Vanessa, who had lost her sister, with some coaching, I wouldn't even have gotten onto that show. Like, so there's just, you can't connect all those dots. And, we've now met in, Beverly Hills and places at these events. And she literally brings me around these parties like, this is the woman that changed my life. And I'm like, oh, I'll just come around those fun events with you. But it's true. Like the realness of this event, like I feel it in all of your hearts. The realness of what happens is beyond words. It's beyond words. So thank you for being so vulnerable and sharing about the event and your experiences, all of you. It really is telltale. And I know people are asking like logistical questions in the chat, and I'll get to that. Like, where do we stay? What do we do? What do we have? And, also like, just know that, however this event continues to evolve, it's beautiful. I have the event now at another space, like 2 doors down, that is even better. Like it's everything just keeps evolving and getting better. And if I do a summit, that's likely going to be at a bigger space, probably like at Pepperdine. I've been going back and forth with Pepperdine University and Malibu about having this like awesome space in their lecture hall, and they have this beautiful patio overlooking the ocean, and that's like for a bigger event of this type. But like the intimate experience now is just, it's still happening, but I'm just trying to continuously evolve this myself, you know, to reach and impact you all in some level of a in-person experience, knowing that, you know, you're exactly where you're meant to be. Like if it's this, it's this. If it's not, like, don't push it, don't force it, but like know that if it's meant to be, you feel a tug. And, you know, hopefully that's what you're listening to. And then you can reach out to me in terms of like timing and logistics, and I cover everything else so your brain can shut off. I'm like, well, where do you stay? What do you do? All that. I'll go through all that in a sec. Okay, I don't want to miss out on some of those other folks that are here. So Richie and Karen and Jennifer K. Like, I think, let me know in the chat, are these testimonials super helpful to you? I love it. Richie, are you there? No, there you are. Hi.
Hello, can everyone hear me and see me? Okay, perfect. Hi. Oh my goodness. Okay, wait, I just got a new cat, so I'll just put him on my lap as I talk. But I just wanted to say, like, I think something that was just so incredibly valuable to me about going to Malibu this past November, so November 2023, was that it just honestly really felt like a reset, because when I had gone, I was 26 at the time. Now I'm 27. And like for honestly like 9 to 10 years since I was 18, I just like struggled a lot with like anxiety and depression and just like doubts and not knowing my place in the world, and just like a lot of like kind of like struggles, and not like really having like a grounded footing or like a confident footing in like what I could bring to the table and what I was like, and like that I'm like more than worthy and stuff like that. But then once I stepped foot in Malibu, and I came out, a lot of things that I like honestly never expected could happen in like 9 to 10 years just started happening. And like I've always wanted to be an actress since I was 8 years old. And when I came out of Malibu, there were like 7 different Los Angeles talent managers who wanted to sign me. And like one of them was like, I feel like some of the people who are like who I met in Malibu in this chat right now, like know, like have heard this spiel from me before, but like even like Taylor Swift and Britney Spears's first talent manager from when they were young teens wanted to sign me. So there was just things that I never thought could happen in like a trillion gabillion years started happening. And you know, I had like kind of struggled for a really long time. It was like 9 to 10 years of like struggling ever since I was 18. But through Malibu, I think I was able, for some reason, like magically just able to open up my heart to like receiving. And for the first time, I didn't really feel like through the 2-day intensive, like I didn't feel like I needed to like work so hard and like just control everything in order to get the best results. And like I think through those 2 days, like the first day is releasing and the second day is like creating. After those 2 days, I think like I sort of like kind of just knew I was more than worthy to just receive as I am, because I have like a lot of gifts and talents to share with the world for like a good purpose. And I think that mindset kind of like yeah, I don't know, just like a bunch of like magical stuff happened afterwards. I like, those are just some examples that I shared, but there's like a lot more other examples after that. So and like maybe it was like the sound bath or something, but it kind of just like opened up my heart to like my feminine energy, and like the miracle, I just like started attracting the miracles instead of me always needing to like chase after the miracles and like control them. So I highly recommend it. Also, Laura, I really do want to sign up for like this next one. So like keep a spot like for me if you can. But anyways, so that's that's like my
I would
experience.
love you. I would love you to come back. Actually, our next two guests that are going to talk have been to Malibu more than once, Karen and Jennifer, as have many, because that's sometimes what happens when you come to Malibu. It's kind of like if you've done a 6-week private group coaching with me, and then you do the next version and you feel it so much deeper, and then you go on your next 6 weeks and you're like, oh, I just heard that completely different. This experience encapsulates so much that I want to do it again and again, which is why I want to lead it again and again. You probably notice me continuously evolving, and I'm like, I know not only doing my teachings has me on the edge of what's next for me as a coach, but I know in doing these experiences and being there right along with you, I am expanding too. And it's part of this like ongoing process. It's kind of a beautiful thing. So I'm just going that way with the raised hand. So thank you, Karen, for being here and always being willing to share your story and being vulnerable and all that. So I'll go.
Yeah, I mean, always. And Laura, thank you so much for mentioning about how when you were visiting your dad in the hospital, like you knew that being on FaceTime wouldn't be the same. And when you said that, I was like, oh yes, that's what it was. Because I've always known that in-person experiences are so much more impactful. But with COVID, I just became used to the Zoom meetings. I was like, this is great. I don't have to go anywhere. I could just sit in my pajamas. I could listen. I'm getting so much done. But when the September retreat was an option for me, I thought, wow, you know what? I think I need this. And I think some people might know already, my dad passed away from COVID, and it was sudden, it was traumatic. And I think like a lot of the things that I needed to reconcile was I was grieving the loss of dreams of like, oh man, my dad won't be here when my book is published, or just everything. I mean, obviously I want my dad here, but I think like I knew that I needed help, and I just didn't know how to shift the grief. But I also knew that Laura helped Vanessa, and that's how I found her on Netflix. So I was with Laura for a year, and so when September came around last year, I was like, this is my birthday present. I'm gonna go. And so that's when I realized, like, wow, the in-person experiences can really sink into ourselves because they're tangible. And so the keypad example from Jolene, I mean, that's what happened to me. Like, I don't know what I was doing, but I was in such a rush that I ended up in this house and at a keypad. And I thought, this is Laura's house. So I'm just like pressing the numbers, the code that Laura gave me. I'm just like pushing it. And I'm like, why isn't it working? And I was so worried because like I was like losing, cell service and all that. And then finally I realized, okay, this is not the house. I need to get out. And then I found the house, and I realized like, wow, it's like I can really try my best, and I can like, sign up for lessons, I can sign up for workshops, but if it's not the right one, and even if I feel like I've reached the destination, if it's like I'm entering the code that I was given, if it's not the right keypad for the code, that's not going to work. So Jolene, yes, I totally agree. It's like for me, like I needed to be in the right spot with the right key code, and that's what happened. I finally found myself at Laura's house, and for some strange and I don't know, for some reason, like I ended up getting there on time, thank goodness. But like that's what I realized. It's like, yes, I need to have the right people with me. And that's what it was. The sound experience gave me the opportunity to connect with my dad, and we had conversations that I needed. And so when I went to the September and November retreats, and the November one, I went back, even though I was scared. I thought I had such a profound and powerful experience. I don't know if I can go back to the November one because I was nervous that it wouldn't be as strong, but it was. And not only that, like because of those two experiences, I opened myself up to like meditation and spiritual retreats in Big Sur. I saw the Milky Way in Big Sur, and those were the same stars that I saw during the sound bath at Laura's house. So yeah, and so when and when while I was in Big Sur, I got the message, trust your imagination. And so the conversation that I had with my dad, that was in my imagination, but I felt like it felt so real. And like trust my imaginations of what I've been learning from Laura. And so I felt like it was like this whole full circle moment for me to say, trust my imagination. Because everything, like I'm gonna trust my imagination when I imagine the future. And so I came back from a writing retreat recently, just a day ago, and I was in Pennsylvania. And I feel like, wow, that's so crazy that I'm here on a writing retreat that I didn't even think about. But because of, like, it was a reminder for me that when I was in person with Laura, like the in-person experiences really do make an impact. Like it's just really sinks into your cells. And yeah, and then like my book deal came through in February. And so while I was waiting for it, of course, I had the doubts. And Angelica and I were like, I picked her up one day, like she lives like 15 minutes away from me, and we were just driving to the mall. And I said, yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I'm not going to get the book deal. And she's like, yay, remember what Kat said? I remember she said to me, like, maybe they're just drinking tea and they're just like, just talking about some other stuff. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. So like the whole time I was worried, I was imagining a scenario that I wanted for myself, and I trusted my imagination. And so anyway, I highly recommend Malibu. It changed my life, and I know it's going to change yours.
Aw, thank you, Karen. And I'm just so always thankful for you all. It's, yeah, I love it. I love all the messages of love also in the chat supporting. Okay, final share from Jennifer K. Then I'm gonna just answer any other questions about next steps and, questions I'm gonna take a look at. Where are you, Jennifer? There you are. All right.
Hello. Oh my gosh. So I would say if you guys are thinking about it, jump, take a leap of faith. I chose to do that because I chose success for myself. I'm one that gives to everybody else and does everything for everybody else, which a lot of us do. We're just caretaker people. And it was the best thing I did for myself. I had my first experience was, I called it a magical experience, because from the time you get there until you leave, I mean, you're just opening up your heart space and you're digging deep into your soul and peeling back the layers. And I absolutely loved every moment of it. It's so magical that it's hard to even talk about unless you can experience it. So I hope that everybody can experience it at one time, that they can go. And then I came back 6 weeks later. I went back again because I had so much movement in those 5 weeks of the more private group coaching that I wanted to go back and dig deeper. And so 6 weeks later, I went back, and I called that a monumental shift in Malibu. I just, like I said, I've seen so much growth in myself. I've left the fear and stepped into my power, and it's just truly amazing. And every day I'm just experiencing life on vacay, as Laura says. It's like I have ease and flow every single day, and I have just mastered peace, joy, and happiness. And yeah, so I hope you guys can go, and I encourage everybody. And like I said, it's just, Laura, thank you so much. Like I said, you've done so much for everybody. You've done so much for me, and the depth in my heart where it's just so open, and I'm just so thankful and grateful.
OMG, you are all the best. Thank you so much for literally reflecting like this exponential leap that I talk about, for people is possible. Like what you all stepped into and trusted when I decided to put in-person experiences back on the map. There was something inside you that trusted to move forward. And that's really, to me, one of the most pivotal moments of your life, when you take an action in trust, not knowing what you're about to experience, knowing that a lot of it in the intangible side of things is hard to even express in words. So the best way to always put it is like, if you do know you need a reset, you do know, like, you're ready for a deeper depth of whatever it is, to release at a deeper level, to step into at a higher level. An in-person experience may be the right next step for you. If you're brand new to me, start with my free tools. If someone just dragged you into this Zoom or sent you this recording afterwards, like, just see if I'm the coach for you. I always like, I know I'm exactly, for the people who are feeling really, really stuck, sometimes frustrated stuck, sometimes angry stuck, sometimes resentful stuck, sometimes grief stuck, sometimes whatever you're stuck in. know that that stuck is just a feeling, and that you can release a lot of these things, and you can release them faster. And it's not about sugarcoating, and it's not about not facing it. It's not about, you know, just judging it. It is about like recognizing it, understanding there are tools and practices that you can practice to make them not normal, like in your life, so they don't hang around, right? Like you don't want to normalize negativity. You don't want to normalize fear and worry. You don't want to normalize being stuck. But in our society, it's really normal. So how do you see past like what you usually see in current society? You got to have tools and techniques to normalize stepping into the positive, despite what's in front of you right now. You know, how do you step into that? Well, there's tools and techniques, and, you know, it's great to get to know them with my free tools. It's great to get to know them on a private group coaching level where you're working on the more advanced level of my membership when you're inside my experience virtually. And then, you know, again, in your heart, if you're like, I want to come, like, feel like the best way I describe it, it's like a zap to your life. It's like it's like a positive pow. Like it's a refreshing shift. And then that you're forever different from in the best way possible. Like that's what I wanted to create and craft, because it is about removing resistance and stepping into change. And you know, sometimes people have expressed really real fears, like to me on the release day, like I fear like if I change so much, like am I going to leave my family behind? Like am I going to change these relationships? Like are things going to like be left behind? And it's like, no, if they're like true to your heart, like you could take all that with you in your changes. Like you're going to up level into all kinds of areas, you know, of what's next for you. So know that, again, I'm going to place the link for the next. Oh, I have some pictures. But like this is the current space of like the places. I mean, these are just some fun pictures of one of my last retreats, like us working, you know, here. I love these. I love these, the moments. But like we're in a, you know, space that's beautiful, private chef, like ocean abound, like beyond, like it's like if I could imagine my most wildest dreams, you all, you know, just being there, celebrating each other, celebrating what's possible. I'm gonna have to put together like a beautiful slideshow of all the different experiences. I actually have, if you're in the Malibu experience, I have a link to all the different photography, so you can actually share and see one another's links, because they're now up there, and everyone who's experienced has access to all the amazing photography. Logistically, you fly into Los Angeles. There's lots of different options for local hotels. You know, there again, if I do a bigger event, there will be, you know, hotel options for a bigger event. If you do the 2-day experience in Malibu, there's already, you know, there's awesome hotels. Pepperdine, now that I'm starting to work with Pepperdine University, also has like lodging at Pepperdine, which is right there and down the street. There's so many amazing opportunities to just be local and have, you know, some local feel of Malibu, whether you want to stay in the vineyards and like have the whole Tuscany look, whether you want to stay like on the beach and have the whole beach vibe, but you're there also for learning. And just know that, like, you know, just find a place that you can, you know, you're not going to spend a lot of time there. You're going to spend time in the group. So we have a full day release day and a full day create day where we work together on a series of different lessons. I move around to different rooms. We work hands-on. I get to customize and work with you one-on-one at times, you know, spread throughout, which is just so empowering. And then again, the after effect is amazing. But I just have to share this like one little iota, which is the second day. At the end of the second day, I've added now, I've like keep evolving the experience. So now there's this very deep lesson on your infinite self. It's like one of my deepest lessons on purpose and how to tap into the version of you that understands your purpose at the deepest level possible. And when you really understand your purpose, you walk about the world differently. You just do. You enter each day differently. And so there's an infinite self lesson now that I do that I've added very recently. And it's so deep. But then it goes right into the sound bath and the futures dinner. And the futures dinner is a culmination event where you're actually like, we change our clothes. That's why you see people like all dressed up, and you see yourself as your future you, and you eat dinner, and we toast each other as our future selves, and you talk the entire time as your future self. And if I just did that, because I started doing that when I launched events back in 2018. And I've seen people even from that event. I have like a woman who came to my 2018 event who has right now one of the fastest growing franchises. And I was like, remember? And I have like recorded speeches of like our speeches that we did back in 2018. So hold on tight, even if you came to me last year in 2023 or 2024, like can you imagine what you're going to be doing 5 years from now post experience? Like, anyway, my point is that with the futures dinner, when you're actually speaking as the future you and you're placing that into existence and you're putting that in momentum, it's one of my favorite activities to do, because you are now becoming that future you, and you're becoming that self now. And I'm just going to leave it as like, your heart knows where you want to be. And you might not feel it right now. You might feel very blocked. You might not know what path, which way should I go? Should I go? Should I stay? You might have very big decisions, even life decisions, weighing on you right now. And a lot of times people are like, when I clear that, then I'll come. And I'm like, you really want to clear it? You want to clear those big things even faster? This is that experience. This is that experience that moves the bigger things, the small things and the bigger things. So you have the clarity you need. Like, there's women that came who are like really like shifting their career paths, other things. I've had athletes come that are now like on a whole other level. And it's really interesting because they're like, thank goodness I came then, because now I see the pivot to my path that would not have like been as fast, like based on where they know they were in a swirl of plateau. So anyway, I am just going to post to see any questions that you have. Okay, so for those of you who are new, if you want to raise your hand, do you have a question, or you can post it in the chat here. I also shared here, yeah, if you have to run. I've seen some people like chat me privately saying like, thank you so much, and have to run because I know this has been a bit. But if you want to, you could post me a private question there. There's my contact me. I have events coming up. So if you're like, when and can I jump in now, just hit me up. What's most important to me is you like coming into a group that is like perfectly aligned, for you. And, just to me, that's one of the most important parts. So whether it's this year, next year, in the future, like I've no, like, there's no, for me, like, need to push you into anything that, you're not ready for. If you're really ready for a life shift, then you're like, can I come tomorrow? I love that. Maui Michelle. I love that. Yes, there's events that are right on the horizon. Just hit me up for like very, dates that are coming up. Or if you are interested in more of that like big summit idea, then let me know. I would love to work with you. So just really hit me up, so I know that you're here, because this is just an open Zoom. I have no idea who's listening to this now or on replay. So go into the contact us on our Main Strong Confident Living website. Let me know that you attended, and just drop me a message. Like, I would love to, it's on my vision board for spring 2020, whatever, or I would love to come as soon as possible. Like, what payment plans do you offer? Or like, just hit me up. Like, just let me know where you're at, and I will try to meet you where you're at. Just know that that's always in my heart, that if you're meant to be there, I would love to help you get there, in terms of like, if you're meant to be there. So, any other questions from those who are just listening in? Are you feeling inspired by all these shares? Thank you, ladies. Thank you, ladies, for sharing. And it was a little, mostly women that have come to this retreat. But I've had like a few now co-ed experiences, and they've been so phenomenal that I absolutely love it. Yes, if the events on the horizon, amazing.
Laura, can you answer the question? Someone had posted, do I have to have done any of your classes first before I come to Malibu? I kind of answered it in the chat, but I think that would be a great one.
Thank you so much, Joylene.
You're welcome.
No, that actually Joylene just came to the most recent retreat that a few people had never had exposure to me. And at first, when I first launched retreats, I was like, yeah, have to have a 6 week under your belt. Like you cannot even walk through my door unless you know my tools. And I released that. I was like, well, that's one way, but if people are really, really ready and you're at my door and you're like, you're meant to be coached by me in depth at a level like that, you need a reset. I loosened the grip on that in the last year with phenomenal success. So I just had like a couple come together in like Joylene's retreat, that it was so great for them to do it together. So just know and they had never been, they'd followed me or maybe had done my 7-day free manifesting challenge, maybe. So yeah, I would absolutely, you just know. Amazing. So yeah, ask your questions right here, there in the contact us form, but I'm also gonna see any other questions. And Joylene, thank you for opening I love it. Just messing with my questions. When you say trust the process, does that mean do the tools? Great question. Well, the trust bucket, if you're in my advanced content, is one of the tools of trust, but all of my lessons are built on trust, right? Trust is the highest manifestation of love. So if you're saying trust the process, trust the unfolding, trust you're exactly where you're meant to be in this moment, listening to this Zoom right now, trust in that. Okay. Trust that you're meant to be here, whether it's live or on replay. And yeah, and then practice all my tools, because all my tools are built on trust. So whether you've got to repair or rebuild trust, or you've got to refind and rediscover trust in your heart in unlimited quantities. And same thing with the retreat. When you come to my experience, it's all built on trust. Like I will help you with trust on the deepest level possible, because that's the deepest level in your heart that I experience. That level of self-love. Other question. Thank you so much. Very inspiring. Oh, good. It was amazing, powerful. Okay, great. Amazing. I'm hoping I can be there soon. Amazing. Okay, I'm seeing all your comments come in. I'm gonna drop the message here again drop me a message in the contact us. It comes right to my email personally that says you came to this event, and then I can keep you posted of future stuff. So like you'll be put like on a list, so I can like keep you posted of future things. I'll just like add your name and you'll be on that list. Be on the list, people. And then any questions, just let me know. But you ladies covered so much that I hope that this has really helped you. Okay. Any other questions outside the scope of this 2-day experience? Like you're asking me the need to fix things, hyper control things, all that. When you're building your best life, don't make sure you're in my private group coaching. We really, really work on that. Okay. The need to fix is coming from the need of from doubt and insecurities. And that's a huge block when you're needing to fix your life versus create your life. So that's a huge shift that if you do come, we will clean up that block right away. That's a huge block. Stop trying to fix your life, start creating your life. Start with my tools, start with my free tools, jump into my advanced content in the private group coaching experiences. And if you really want to take things up, not just a notch, but like an exponential notch, come to an in-person experience. For all of you that shared today, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I never know what you're going to say, but it's always so beautiful. So thank you for being expressions of what exactly everybody here may have needed to hear. Not from me. It was really about you all today. And for those of you who are new and just like listening in and tuning in and just like wanting to see if this is right for you, like hopefully you have a more clear direction in your heart right now that like I'm doing that. Like it's like release the timing, release the how, release the when, and see yourself there, right? Go to the Malibu experience pictures on my, on my website. Go to the Malibu experience information, read it thoroughly, picture yourself clinking glasses with me, and just go there. And then let me know that it's on your radar. So mwah, mwah. Have a beautiful day and weekend ahead, everybody. I can't wait to hear from you. And I can't wait to potentially work with you in real life. Thank you again. Okay, bye everyone.